Welcome to the Soulfire Podcast, where every day we talk about real life, real shit, real raw. On this show, you can expect us to dive deep into topics like marriage, parenting, money, business, feeling like you want to give up, fighting for yourself, just straight soul healing. This podcast is all about life. Hey there, it's Power Coach Alicia here, your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, and educational life coaching, transformational speaking, and soul healing. We're talking about setting your soul on fire. I specialize in helping women put themselves first without feeling guilty, getting out of their own way, and finding themselves again. No fluff, no hand-holding, no bullshit here, just love, light, and peace as we journey through this thing called life. Welcome to episode 9 of the Soulfire Podcast. In today's episode is another Power Up with Power Coach Alicia. And in that episode, I'm talking to you all about your default mode. And I feel like this is such a perfect time to introduce you to this topic that I talk about a lot. Because as we move into the holiday seasons and your life gets busier and more rushed and you have a lot more on your plate, it's extremely important that you're aware of what your default mode is and that you've done the work to reset your default mode in a way that aids you. Most of the time, your default mode is something that actually hurts you. So in this episode, we're going to talk all about it, get clear on it, and help you reset your default mode. Enjoy. Hey there, and welcome to Power Up with Power Coach Alicia. I am Power Coach Alicia, your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, and educational, plus transformational speaking and life coaching with a twist of tough mama bear, no fluff, no hand-holding, no bullshit love. I specialize in helping women step into their personal power, unleash their inner badass, and put themselves first without feeling guilty, unapologetically authentic. And today we're talking about the 3 things that you can do to change your default mode. If you are on replay, please drop hashtag replay in the comments. So that's the first thing. Secondly, if you are not part of my Unapologetically You group, please be sure to go to group.powercoachalicia.com. Again, that's group.powercoachalicia.com. Join my Unapologetically You group there. We have daily coaching. This coming up next week, I'm starting my Soul on Fire 4-part series that you do not want to miss out on. So yes, again, today we are talking about 3 things that you can do to change your default mode. Because usually your default mode is something that doesn't serve you. Let's see. So yes, hello Latoya, hi Tessa, hello Denna. Make sure you guys say hi to me in the comments for those of you that are live. And we're going to start doing something fun in the mornings to get this show on the road. Hi Liz, how are you girl? One of the things that I want to start doing to get the show on the road in the mornings is, well, we'll do something different every day. But I love the bomb or like the explosion emoji. So I want you guys to either do the bomb, which is the black emoji that has like the little fuse on it, or the explosion one, which is like yellow with red around it. So drop those in the comments. Let's have some fun. Oh, I pushed the wrong button on that one. Woot, my share was so fast today. So we're going to be doing fun stuff like that. Again, to let Facebook know that you guys love the content. You're here, you're active, right? Facebook must know. Oh, look at that. All done. Yes, I love the bomb emoji and the boom emoji. If you're in any of my groups, you'll know that like if you say something that I think is awesome, I'll write boom and then I use the like yellow explodey one all the time. I do it all the freaking time. All right, message has been sent. We've got it shared everywhere. Oh, look, there's people over here. Yay! I love it. Hi, Brianna. Woot, woot, woot. Octavia. What you doing, girl? Oh, I forgot to do my 3 check-ins yesterday. I need to put that on my list. Okay, so I even made little notes so I can stay on track and make sure these are power-packed and freaking fabulous. So, first of all, I want to explain to you what your default mode is. So, hi, Charlene. Your default mode is the mode that you default to. That's basically your habit. It's your resting space, your resting place, if you will. It's like after a long day, this isn't your default mode, but I'm just saying, here's an example. Hi, Morgan. Like after a long day, you get a drink, you sit outside, you talk to your husband, right? Maybe that's like an action that you take. Your default mode though, like that action could be interrupted and you'd be fine. Or good, I should say. And, if it's not Friday, let's say you only do that on Fridays, or for us, it used to be Thursdays because Thursdays are our Fridays. Woo! For Friday for me! Yay! But, holy crap. What was I saying? Oh, so that can be changed. But your default mode, hi Tracy, is a place that you go naturally. It's not an activity. That's why I explained like a Friday night thing. Hi Stacy, because the Friday night thing is a action that you're taking. Default mode is where you just land. Hey Ruth Ann. So yesterday I talked about how I used to wear like being a fighter, a hustler, like a badge of honor. And the hustler was the biggest problem. So when I'm coaching people, I'm always talking about putting yourself first without feeling guilty, stepping into your personal power, unleashing your inner badass. And then I'm giving you tools in each of those areas in order to do that. When I designed my brand new soul food program, I also added in like a book club aspect. It's a 3-month program and there's going to be 2 books that we read in that 3-month timeline. So the first 6 weeks will be 1 book. The second 6 weeks will be another book, right? And I was thinking about like what aspects I could add to the soul food program that created that peace and that created that calm, but that gave that power. So, and I also talked about yesterday how I used to always be thinking about business. So I popped into soul food. I can't remember why now because my brain's going a million miles an hour. It's like, why did I even start talking about that? Whatever. But that's why. Because, I never had an issue in the past with like putting my kids before myself or my husband before myself or my family before myself or my friends before myself. My problem has always been, my default mode has always been, hi Mary Mahey, being a workaholic. And so I never wore being a workaholic like a badge of honor, but I did wear being like a hustler, like I'm determined, I'll do whatever it takes to make it happen, that sort of thing that way. Right? And so what ended up, I know what the next emoji is going to be. Get ready. So that was like my biggest problem, was learning how to not be a hustler, not push so hard, not put work before everything. I put work before my physical well-being, my emotional well-being. Well, when I say work, my business, not somebody else's company. I'm not working for somebody else, but my company. I put it before my kids. I put it before everyone and everything. All the way up through when I quit LuLaRoe and at the end of 2017. So it's not like I've been, really got it into perspective. Once I started LuLaRoe, about 3 months into it, maybe a little less, I realized how much more work LuLaRoe was and how much working drove every one of my actions. Because if we let off, we wouldn't sell. Like we wouldn't make the money that we needed to make. And that happened a lot in my coaching company as well. It was like, okay, if I was there, if I was active, I was doing all the things all the time, grinding, as I like to say, pushing, it would happen. And anytime I started backing off, unless I had a solid fucking amazing team, carrying it forward for that short amount of time, it would fall apart. So if you are following me, you connect with me, put a 1 in the comments for me, please. just so I can make sure and to keep this algorithm going. So just be prepared every day. Power Up with Power Coach Alicia. I'm going to have you guys dropping stuff in the comments all live long. Of course, you can comment normally, question statements like you always do. Hey, Leah. Okay. So my default mode, I was like, why did I go into that now? My default mode was working. Like, hands down. That was it. Okay, I got work to do, right? And I did it. So let's go more personal, right? Because the last couple of days I've talked a lot about running businesses and, those sorts of being the challenge. But I want to kind of pull back to personal because that's what we're here for, right? And like my default mode generally is frustration, right? So as I'm talking, I want you guys to start shouting out in the comments, what is your default mode? Hi, Jana. What is the thing that you default to? And I do want you to stick personally, but maybe you are a workaholic as well. Maybe your default mode is to retreat when things get hard. That isn't mine. My default mode is like fight, right? Maybe your default mode is flight. Again, retreating. My default mode is strength, right? And maybe your default mode is vulnerability. So when you're looking at what your default mode is, it's important to be clear of what your modes are. Because if you do not know what your modes are, then you can't adjust them. You can't fix them. So I wanted to spend some time really painting the picture of what default modes, what it is, what it means. It's not consistent action you take. Like every Friday night, it's Friday, we're going to grab a drink and sit on the back porch. It's not that. It's not the fact that I water my plants or my flowers every single morning. It's not the fact that when I wake up, I usually go wake up Ronan. I let the piggy pie out of her kennel. I fill up my water bottle. I take my Thrive. I get ready. Then I come sit down and go live. That's not a default mode. So default modes are not actions you take. It is where you rest in comfortability. It's where you land without really thinking about it, right? All right, so let's look at what some of your default modes are. So we have Morgan's is retreat. Tessa says, fuck it, I give up. Okay. Keep coming with what your default modes are. Shout them out in the comments. I never say your name right. Do people call you Rita, Ratak? Ugh. What do I call you when you come on here? I like literally cannot stand saying people's names wrong. So Miss Isabel, tell me how to say your name in the comments so I can give it right. So Latoya defaults to irritated. I can absolutely resonate with that and is defaulting to irritated, right? Because that's me too. I could be in the best mood and then one little thing, it doesn't even have to be anything big, right? Hi, Mary Reynolds. And then all of a sudden I'm irritated. And then I go from irritated to frustrated and frustrated to like, or maybe mine's frustrated to irritated to I'm going to fucking flip the fuck out sort of thing. Those different levels, right? So if you're just joining us, we're talking about what your default mode is. Now, your default mode, again, is not a habit. It's not an action. It is literally where you automatically go. It's like this. Here's an example. You're in the best mood. You're having a great day. And then all of a sudden you're pissed off. You're like, what the fuck happened, right? You ask yourself this. Like, what the fuck happened? And you start thinking, you're like processing, why am I in a bad mood? I was like so happy. I was so excited. Everything felt so good. Where did it switch? Sometimes you have no fucking clue. That's because it's default. It's like automatic that you didn't even have any idea what happened, right? That's what I mean by default mode. All right. Irritated and pissed off, says Jenna. Exactly. You guys, this is exactly what I mean. So, Dana or Brianna, Mary Mayhe, Mary Reynolds, do any of you guys have a default mode? Liz, her default mode is to push harder, but then in the end, she ends up depleting and retreating. So that's really, really huge. Hi, Michelle. Like so freaking huge, right? Because you're like, go, 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 go. Oh my God, like this is too much. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to end. I don't know what to do. Oh, fuck it, I'm done. So it's like giving up. And that really connects to Tessa's as well as like so. It's big to know what your default mode is. So there's two different pig emojis. You could do a pig emoji that it's like the whole side of the pig and you see the piggy pie in its head. Or you could do a pig emoji. Actually, there's three. So let's do it this way. There's the snout pig emoji, or there's the cute face pig emoji with the ears. Don't do the actual farm pig. All right. If you knew what your default mode was before, I want you to use a piggy nose. And if you just realized what your default mode is today and what you do, then I want you to use the pig head that has the cute little ears. If I wasn't on my phone, I would show you what I mean. So do that. Oh, I could put it on the main video, but I don't know if everybody would see it. So I'm going to see if I can find these pig emojis. Yes, I can find them. Why are you not working? I found them, but it won't go in. Somebody will show you. So the nose, if you already knew your what your default mode was, and the cute little piggy face with the floppy ears, if you just learned what it was today as we talked about it. All right, so Morgan already knew what hers was. Jenna already knew what hers was. Liz is just learning today what hers is. Mary is today's just learning what hers is. Oh my God, I just put them on here like 1,000 times. All right, that's what they look like if you guys can see that on the main chat. Christy just learned what hers was today, or is figuring it out today. Christy, so what did you figure out today was your default mode? Because I didn't see a comment come through for you. And then Latoya already knew what hers was. All right, so let's talk about the shift from, once you're aware of what it is and you know, like, okay, this is Charlene's just learning what hers is today. So see, this is like really good, right? This week has been all about connection. And so I'm so glad that you guys showed up today. And, for those of you that have been here all week. Oh, I misunderstood. All right, so Liz already knew what hers was. Okay, so here's the other thing that I noticed. Majority of people know what their default mode is/was. Hi, Celia. The problem comes from the fact that you do nothing about it. Right? Like, you do absolutely nothing about it. So put a 2 in the comments if you know what your default mode is, but for the most part, you just let it be your default mode. Okay, so for those of you that knew what your default mode is, all of the face piggies, not the nose, but the face piggies, but you just let it like run you. Like, oh, this is who I am, so this is how it is sort of thing. Put a 2 in the comments if you've never really actually done anything to work through that default mode. I told you I'm making you guys comment all day. I mean, all live. Facebook needs to know this shit is important. Okay, so being aware of what it is one of the first steps. I'm going to do a slash on that because, the majority or over half of you already knew what your default mode was. So being aware of what it is / recognizing that it's unhealthy. So if you look at all of the default modes that are here, they're not positive. They're not healthy default modes. I'm telling you, defaulting to giving up and retreating and irritation and pissed offery, all of those things, they're not positive. So that's another thing to keep in mind is that your default mode and what you tend to do, it's a protection mechanism, but it's not good for you. It's literally not good for you. Hi, Erin. Sometimes we think in our head, like, well, it is good. That's how I stay safe. That's how I protect myself. But it's not. Like, truly, most of the time we don't have positive default modes. Like, I mean, we do, but when I talk about a default mode, I'm talking about that negative. And that's where you guys even went. Nobody even said, hi, Vicky. Nobody even said, well, what about the positive side, right? Because most of the time it's like, the negative is ruling the roost unless you are actively doing something about it. So that brings me to number 2, which is connecting to what you want your default mode to be instead of what it is. So for whatever you put as your default mode, What would you like to do instead? So that's going to be the next comment. And that's what I want you to write next. What would you like to do instead? So instead of giving up, instead of retreating, instead of being irritated, instead of pushing yourself to exhaustion and then giving up, you know, those sorts of things, what would you like your new default mode to be? All right, so Mary's default mode is withdrawal. Okay. So see, that's good, right? That's giving you some clarity, Mary. May he. A lot of default modes are irritation and pissed offery and giving up. Irritation, retreating. Giving up and retreating are like the exact same thing. Jenna says, no, you taught me not to only recognize it and do what I need to do to get it back to positive. I love it. Okay, so Morgan, I absolutely hate that phrasing, right? Push on. So I know because, you know, the opposite of retreat is to like push forward. But then you can easily do what Liz does. If you push yourself forward, what ends up happening, and I think this is so true for you, Morgan, I think this is like a really good realization. If you push yourself past those marks, which I used to think pushing was healthy. You just push, you gotta go, you gotta make it happen. Just like, I don't care, whatever it takes. But one of the things that I've realized is some personality types that I think this is true for you, Morgan, is if you push yourself, then you push too hard and you end up retreating anyways because you've overwhelmed yourself. So I don't think pushing on is the answer. I mean, I do appreciate you sharing that, but I hate that answer because I don't think that it's good for you, right? And maybe it's just a switch in verbiage because pushing is like drudgerous, like, oh, for fuck's sakes, right? And so it feels so like hard and monotonous and like, okay, but I got to, right? And so Liz, I think that that's a good thing to consider for you as well, is the pushing mentality. I gotta push. Maybe we need to just switch that on the front end so that you can continue taking action, but that action is not at the destroyance, or that's probably not a fucking word, I don't care, at your expense, right? All right, so connect to what you want your default mode to be instead. So yes, move forward, much better, right? Because if you're pushing, it's at like a massive rate. And I always think of pushing like somebody standing behind you, like pushing you like this, right? And so I used to always say, like, if my schedule got too much, and this is one of the reasons why I pulled off of so much one-on-one coaching, is because my schedule would be so full of calls all the time. And then I had all my back-end work to do, which are the posts you see in the Facebook group, the emails that you get on a regular basis, whether they're sales emails to join my free challenge, for my new Soul on Fire series, for my new program that's coming up, all that stuff I do. So when my schedule gets too full of, 4 or 5 calls a day, which would be 4 or 5 hours of calls, and I only work 4 or 5 hours a day, which would put all of my back end work during my off time. This is one of the reasons why, if you've been my client, like my one-on-one client, or you've been in a membership and then you canceled or something like that, that you don't get a follow-up from me. Because my schedule has always been so full in the past. So I would explain it like being pushed through the day. I'd fall out of bed and like push. Like fucking A. By the time I got to the end of my day, I would feel like I was literally just, somebody had been pushing me all day long, right? And literally pushing me, which was really me doing it to myself. But moving forward is like that progress, not perfection feeling, right? Moving forward means just one foot in front of the other, not baby steps, because I don't believe in that, but one foot in front of the other, moving forward. Because, a baby step may only be, one little step and then you stop for the whole fucking day. We don't have time for that. It's going to take for fucking ever for you to get to where you want to be. So I'm like, okay, step. All right, do it, step, do it, step, do it. Like by the end of the day, you might have taken 99 steps, not one little tiny fucking baby step, right? Oh my gosh, I am so excited because my free Get Your Shift Together workshop is open for registration. In this workshop, you're going to discover the most powerful ways to shift from shit shows to pure soul connection. Prepare to release the shit. In this 5-day transformational workshop, you're going to learn how to free yourself of those superwoman expectations, release the guilt of not being able to be everything for everyone, and find yourself again. And just so you know, you do deserve to put yourself first without feeling guilty and reconnect with you. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this workshop. So to register, just go to getyourshifttogether.life. Again, that's getyourshifttogether.life. Can't wait to see you in there. So what I want you to start connecting to, what you want your default mode to be instead. So instead of me defaulting to irritation and pissed offery, I've been working really hard at defaulting to expressing how I feel still, and then adding understanding and asking for help. So instead of being like, it's like, okay, I'm really fucking sick of the house looking like this and nobody cleaning it and nobody taking care of it. I understand that you're really busy. I'm really busy. I mean, I get up at the same time as you and you guys leave to work before I start work, but I get up, I do Power Up with Power Coach Alicia, I work out, I get ready, I journal, I meditate, I sit down to work, and then my schedule drives until 6 p.m. Sometimes I can't even get up to go pee because I have back-to-back calls. Sometimes. That used to be like every fucking day. But now it's sometimes. I yesterday did not have a full schedule of calls or lives. My Power Up with Power Coach Alicia was the only live I did. So technically, if you were to look at the calendar, it looked like I was off all day. But I had all of this back end work to do. I am launching my brand new program called Soul Food. In the middle of building the information page for Soul Food, I decided I wanted to do a 4-part series that is Soul on Fire, right? And so in the middle of me doing work, I added more fucking work to my plate. And the way that I'm running the Soul Food launch is almost like the first day is one price. Like you get the best price on day 1. And then on day 2, 3, and 4, there's a new price. And then on day 5, 6, and 7, there's another price. And this continues to go up. And then on 8, 9, and 10, or 9, 10, 11, whatever the fuck it is, 8, 9, and 10, there is another price. Like when you set that up, that's a fucking nightmare. The easiest way to do it is there's only one price and I can just remove bonuses. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do a price increase because I want to reward people who take fast action. So not only are they going to get the fast action bonuses, but they're going to get the least price. And then I didn't want to take away the bonuses. I wanted to keep the bonuses, the other ones, but the price is going to raise throughout, right? Well, to do all of this, there's a lot of technological things that need to happen. I have to copy all the pages. I have to change all the prices. I have to create products for every single one of those. And I have to set it up to where the date and time, if you miss that time, it auto goes to the next page. Oh, you missed that time too? It auto goes to the next page. So if you check your email from day 1 and you click that link, and I've been running the launch for 4 or 5 days, you're getting the price on the day 4 or 5. Not when you click this link, you're not going to get day 1 price. So the reason why I'm explaining that to you is because, yeah, it looked like if you looked at my calendar, I had nothing to do. But I literally spent 3 days building the information page for the Soul Food program. I also spent another hour setting up Soul on Fire. Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you saw the Soul on Fire and you clicked the link to be, notified for replays and all of that kind of stuff. So drop a fire emoji in there. 1, if you're in. Drop 3 fire emojis if you want the information on it. It's free. So Soul on Fire is my free 4-part series. So I want you to do 3 fires if you want the information, 1 fire if you're already all the way in. You'll know if you're all the way in because you would have gotten a message from me this morning about this live. If you did not get a message from me this morning about this live, then you are not set up to get the reminders and the replay information for each day of the Soul on Fire. So I had a lot to do. I didn't have an off day, but my family could have looked at that and been like, well, mom could do the chores and, clean the house and da-da-da-da. So although I wasn't being driven by calls, I literally needed to focus. But my fucking extended family, because they all are not working like in buildings right now for the most part, like, oh, what are you doing? I'm fucking working. What the fuck are you doing? Shouldn't you be working at home? Like, it's been quite the week of interruptions. I'm really excited for the world to go back to just a little bit of normal. I'm telling you what right now. So remember, 3 fire emojis if you're not in on the Soulfire 4-part series and you want to be, and 1 fire emoji if you are already in. So when I tell you about that, it's like, okay, so I made more work for myself. I have more work. I'm so excited for the launch of Soul Food and the Soul on Fire series, like all of these things, which can I just tell you what it stands for? I made it all up yesterday. So I have been doing a lot. I'll come back to default mode. I have been doing a lot of soul fires, such as Soul on Fire, Soul Circle, like all of these things. Like, because I really love soul, everything. I mean, one of my core desired feelings is soulfully connected, right? So when I was coming, wanting to use Soul on Fire, I was like, fire has to be an acronym. So I have to tell you what the acronym is. It is fearless women who are inspired to do the work and ready to explode into the badass they are. So fearless, inspired, ready, and explode. Boom! I love it. I'm so proud of myself. Okay. Back to your regularly scheduled program. So what is it that you want your default mode to be, and start shifting yourself to that? So back to my family example, it may look like I have the time, but I really, 1 fire. I love that. I really have been thinking about, Alicia, you don't do a lot around this house. And they are out working all day. And then you want them to come home and you want them to do stuff, but you're not doing stuff. You need to do stuff. And when I think about it, it's like, where the fuck am I going to fit anything to do? Because I wake up at 8:30 and I'm going until 6. Well, by the time I end at 6, they've already done their shit because they're home off and on all day long, depending on the day. This has been a lighter week for them. So I am really doing my best to work on how I can help and how I can support as well. But if I get off of this live and I go sweep my house and then mop it, that's going to put my day at this push mode. And I hate that push mode feeling because especially today, because I have my Facebook cash program, turn your Facebook into cash. At 5 o'clock Eastern, which is 3 o'clock my time. And then I go into my Elite Life program, which is 7 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock my time. Well, I come to work at 1. So I only have a 2-hour window if I show up at 1 to get the rest of my back end stuff done, or now I'm being pushed into the weekend. I talk a lot about Marcy being gone, right? So I know I'll be pushed into the weekend doing some work this weekend. So I'm like, well, I could, sweep and mop the house, but then I will also be working tomorrow or Sunday. So they won't be working this weekend, but I would end up working this weekend. So I really have to figure out how I can show up and help around my house, but also still helping them understand that I need that support and help. So from irritated and bitchy to loving, understanding, we still have to get this done. From being a workaholic to understanding that no amount of work and success is worth me killing myself over, right? So my new default modes, like everything has shifted from being so one way to more peaceful and flowing. No, step by step ferociously would not work. Liz, forward motion. Liz says, I would like to not feel like I'm failing and neglecting at something else when I'm working on self-care. So we talked a lot about that yesterday. So I'm going to tag you, Liz, in yesterday's Power Up with Power Coach Alicia. You definitely should watch it. Because we talked a lot about connection to certain like badge of honors and like giving. I think it's a great one for you to listen to. Hands down. Mary May says, I have to change my, okay. I'd like to just be at peace, right? So that is what, the new default mode. So in order to be at peace, you have to make peace. You have to create space for that peace. Meditation on the regular is going to absolutely help with that. And maybe when you're journaling, brain dump even more, let more out. And hi, Anitra, and allow yourself to create that peaceful space. That's one thing I love about my sacred space, is that it's a peaceful place for me to reconnect. Tracy says, I like that. Asking for help is good, especially when others can't read your mind per se. Tessa says, my default mode comes after I feel like I've exhausted all other options. I wish I had enough confidence in myself to find another way to handle situations. Well, that's the thing. And that brings me to number 3 in your default mode. When you find yourself slipping back to that default mode and that comfort zone, you need to take opposite action. So I think one of the biggest challenges too, and not just with Tessa, I think a lot of you can relate to that, is you think your default mode is after you've exhausted everything, but it's not. You're already in that default mode from the moment, because it's a default mode. The way you verbalize that, Tessa, is you think you're choosing that mode. You're not. It's a default for a reason. The word default means that's where you auto go to. It is not an active decision. Oh, I've exhausted all my options, I give up. No. You already have that as your default mode, right? And so as you're taking action, as you're moving forward, that mode is already there. It's not a chosen mode, it's an automatic mode. So my point is, you need to recreate that or connect to a new mode. So when you start to feel like you're slipping into your default mode, it's okay. This is how I'm feeling, and you'll find yourself, slipping into that default mode. You have to take a different action. Whatever that was that you said you wanted to do. So in your case, Tessa, I wish I had the confidence in myself. Stop wishing, start acting. Stop wishing, start doing. Stop wishing and make it fucking happen. Like, there is no wishing. Like, there's no fucking star that's going to make it all happen for you, right? Like, you have to take that action. You remind me so much of Morgan Tao in my Elite Life program, and you'll see Morgan show up a lot. You see me rub my forehead because it's like a lot of work for me. When you finally realize that you're not a victim in your life, when you finally realize that everything is not happening to you, that this isn't a problem for you, that your life isn't hard on you, when you stop choosing victim, and you choose to fight for yourself, everything will shift. But the biggest challenge with you specifically, Tessa, and anybody else watching, you might relate to this, is that you constantly choose victim. You're the poor me because of this. Now, I know you probably don't see it that way, but if you go back and you read your comments, and you do this weird, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I've got this, I'm a fucking badass. And then 1,000 more, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Hell yeah, I've got this. And then 1,000 more, and this is your cycle. They have to be flipped. Stop choosing victim. Stop going to that place where it's poor me. And I know that's easier said than done, but that's default mode. Your default mode is life is so hard. Everything is so hard on me. Everything is so hard for me. I can't figure this out. I can't figure that out. Yeah, but with me, I have this issue because of that. Stop making excuses to stay stuck. Now I'm talking to every fucking one of you. Stop making excuses to stay stuck. And give yourself a reason to move forward, to fight for yourself. People like you, Tessa, and Morgan are looking for somebody to come save you. You're looking for that person, which is generally me, right? To swoop in, pick you up, save you, give you all the answers, and send you on your way. You have to realize that I can give you all that I have to give, but that action, that change, that shift has to come from within you. So as long as you're always looking for that from outside, from other people, you'll always be a victim. Your life will always be a fucking shit show. There's 1,000%. Now, it might seem like, God, she's mean. I'm not mean. I'm telling you the truth. I have coached thousands of women through life coaching. I have watched these patterns over and over and over again. And there's only one way to deal with these patterns with my personality. And that's to kick your fucking ass, tell you to pull your head out of your ass. And if you want things to change, you must change. And not change for 5 minutes, and not change when it's easy, and not change when it feels like everything's going well. To change on a regular basis, even when you want to throw your fucking hands up and quit. And that's the thing. Default mode is retreating, is irritation, is giving up, is fuck it all. So you have to do something different. What's causing you to always get to that default mode? It is not outside of you, it's within you. So that's the other challenge. Morgan was looking outside of herself. Tessa, you're looking outside of yourself. All of these circumstances and situations are causing this. The fuck they are. You are. Get in the fucking car, go get your daughters. Right? It was like an entire day of fucking Marco Polos to get Morgan to fight for herself. An entire day. From the morning till about, like, I feel like it was, for me, it was an entire day because we're on different fucking time zones. Like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Guess what? Yeah, bitch. We've been actually, I think it was more than a day. I swear to God, it was 2 days. Because we were on our Elite Life session and she went and got her kids that Friday. Yeah, bitch, we've been telling you that for 2 fucking days. Fight for yourself. I can't. Yes, you can. It's not outside of you. It's in you. It's not his decision. It's yours. Fucking figure it out and go for it. This is for every single one of you. Do not make excuses to stay stuck. It pisses me off. There is no excuse that's good enough to stay stuck unless you want to be a victim. You have to choose. You have to connect to that opposite side. Let's be real. I don't like being loving. I don't want to be fucking touched. I don't want to be hugged. I don't want to be fucking kissed. I want to tell you what the fuck I want to say, however I want to say it, and I don't want you to be a baby about it and mope around the house. Well, listen, that doesn't work. That's who I am. That's my default mode. Pretty hard. I'm pretty strong. That is my personality, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter shit. Because at the end of the day, that causes more problems. It hurts people's feelings. It's an issue. And then I'm like, well, fuck. Now everybody's upset and now I've got to deal with this and I'm the bad guy again and Daniel's fucking pouting and the kids are pissed. I have to do something different. I absolutely do not love being sweet and peaceful and loving. However, that is what I need. My soul really does need to connect to in order to grow. I have to connect to that in order to grow. So yes, it may feel like the situations, my house isn't clean, nobody's doing their fucking chores, what the fuck is going on? I'm sick and tired of this, what's going on with that? It may feel that all of these are outside of my control, but the truth is what I do have to control is how I show up, the action I take, the words I speak, and what default mode I'm going to choose. It's not always perfect, but I will say this. More times than not, I am consciously choosing the mode and that connection, hi Tiffany, that is going to feel good. And that wraps all the way around to taking feel good actions. I don't know if you've ever seen my post on taking feel good actions, but I've posted it a few times and I'm sure I'll post it again. Maybe it'll be my post today. It is inside of the Unapologetically You group. So if you type like good actions in the search bar, it should pop right up. Like that's part of it. I've been hard on Morgan for months. Tessa, your ass better still be here. I'm going to come to Pennsylvania and kick your ass. You have to do something different. You have to choose, Like my coach would say, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but I'm saying you fucking have to. And I guess she's right. Like in the sense of you don't have to. You can keep choosing victim. You can keep whining, is what I call it, about your life and continuing to go in this fucking circle over and over and over again. You can continue that, but don't expect people to show up for you and to help you and to be there for you at the same levels as they always were. Because every single time you loop that circle, this is how much of support that you have. This is how much people fucking care, right? This is how much people are going to show the fuck up for you. And eventually you're going to go, what the fuck happened to so-and-so? Nothing. You happened. You kept fucking whining and crying about the same shit and did nothing about it. And you say, well, I did. I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing my best. No, you're not. You might be doing your best, but you're not doing everything you can, right? There's always more. If you haven't found the solution, then you're missing something. So I'm not saying you're not doing your best. This is for all of you. I'm not saying you're not doing your best. I'm saying that you're missing something. Keep going till you find it. Keep fighting. You have to keep fighting if it's that bad. Do you know how long it took me to get Morgan to fucking fight? It was a lot. It was a lot. I felt like it was a long time. I'm highly impatient and I'm used to my clients like this. They switch. They go from like suicide to living life to its fullest like overnight. And like, I have 2 clients right now. They're opposite personality types. One's like really bullheaded and stubborn. And then Morgan is now shifted. But let's go past. Morgan is like more, like she's really stubborn and bullheaded, but in like a silent fucking way. So she makes you think that she's gonna do it and she's got it, but she really fucking doesn't. And so it was like an open loop of me ready to kill her. Right? And then you have the bullheaded personality type. She's outward telling you fuck off. She's outward telling you she's not going to do it. She's outwardly rebelling against everything. So why the fuck did you pay to get in this program to not do shit that I'm asking you to do, right? That's not what I said to her, but pretty close, right? And so that is like me going, Morgan, I swear to fuck. If you don't do this, I'm going to kick your ass. Over here, if you don't do this, I'm going to kick and so now pretty much every one of our elite life coaching sessions start with, now don't yell at me. But, well, I might yell at you. It depends on what you're about to fucking say. I'm not going to promise you that, right? So I want you to stop allowing yourself to make excuses to not fight for you. So back to Tessa. Tessa, you fight really fucking hard for those kids, but you don't fight near as hard for yourself. And that's why you find yourself constantly hitting rock bottom. Because you have to do for you what you need to have the energy, the power that you need to lead those kids to greatness. I'm not in the same situation you are. I'm not going through the same things that you are. But one of the things that I realized with both of my kids is it took work on me to be able to connect with them better. So, and when I say connect with them better, realizing where Ronan hits his marks, where I have to be like, okay, you're doing too much of this, you're doing too much of that, and not enough of this. So like me stepping in and giving him that back to him instead of going, what the fuck? Why did you do this? When have you been doing that? How long have you been doing that? But if I'm if I'm connected to myself, I can see more of that in him and then I can lead him. You haven't come in and talked to me about anything and I don't know how long. I'll say that. I'm like, well, there's really nothing to talk about. Is there nothing to talk about? Or are you just not talking to me? Right? But if I'm not connected, I'm not remembering that it's been a long time since he said something. Do you see what I'm saying? But that starts with me. But you can't make your kid do that for you if you're not doing, get what I mean? So for me, that's my thing. That's the thing that I realize. The more I'm connected to me and centering and eyes wide open for myself, the more I could be a better mom. It's the same thing as being a wife. The more I'm connected to me, I can look at Daniel and say, it's been a week and a half since you took any me time. You have to go right now. He'll go, I don't want to. I don't fucking care. It's been a week and a half. Go right now. Can I shower first? Yes. Shower, me time. That's it. You can't do anything else. Right? But that's me being connected. If I am disconnected from myself and running like a chicken, I don't notice anything with these guys. I don't notice any of it because I'm so overwhelmed and I have so much on my mind. So you guys hold on one second. I'm just going to wrap this up and then be ready to go. So reminder of the 3 things. 1 is what default mode is. It's the mode that you go to automatically and generally it's negative, right? 2, or that's before what default mode is. 1 is being aware of what it is. So once you understand what default mode is and then know what yours is, that's number 1. Number 2 is connect with what you want your default mode to be instead. So if you are irritable and stressed out and like chaotic, then your other side is peaceful. I'll never give up on you, Tessa. I might bitch you out on every goddamn live, but I won't ever give up on you. I will keep fighting for you until you actually fight for yourself. Number 3 is when you find yourself slipping back to that default mode and that comfort zone, you need to take the opposite action. The opposite action being whatever it is you want to feel, whatever it is that you want to do, right? The connection you want to have. If you are feeling chaotic and stressed out and you're in that default mode, then the action you need to take is peace, right? You have to go meditate. You need to get calm. 99% of the time, if you come into my house and my family's not here, you will hear peaceful music. Why? Because I'm not a calm person. I'm extremely high strung. So I listen to peaceful music because it helps keep me calm. I have oils that I diffuse because it helps keep me calm. I slather myself in oils because it helps keep me calm. I have fucking candles because they help keep me calm. I have crystals because they help keep me calm. I have Tibet singing bowls because they help keep me calm. I have angel cards because they help keep me calm. All of this shit calms me down because I'm a high strung person, right? So when you find yourself slipping back to your comfort zone, take opposite action. I may pick up 2 crystals, read about them, and then meditate while I'm holding those 2 crystals, right? So I know this was kind of long. I'm really doing my best to get these between 20 and 30 minutes, but then Tessa put me on a rampage that everybody needed to hear, so we did that. Melody said, I so needed this today. Been fighting with myself about something super dear to my heart. Just needed the push to take care of the situation. Awesome. I got a bear emoji from Mary. All right. So with so much love, Tessa, get your shit together and fight for yourself and everyone else, right? It's nobody's job to fight for you. You have to fight for yourself. So there's a few things that I want to say in wrapping this up. 1, if you have not checked out the Soul on Fire series, it's 100% free. Make sure that you get in on that. You can drop 3 fire emojis in the comments and I will send you the link directly. All right. So that kicks off on Monday. So the Soul on Fire series starts Monday. It'll be Monday through Thursday next week. Next week, I'm also launching my soul food program. It's an interim program between my lesser expensive life coaching program and my most expensive life coaching program, with some really cool elements that really connect to my soul and bring me peace. So I am so freaking excited for soul food. But Soul on Fire is the free 4-part series. If you want more like in-depth, you want to, have the opportunity to work with me, then, and for free, right? Make sure that you jump in on that. I think that's about it for now. Oh, make sure you join my free Facebook group, group.powercoachalicia.com. I will see you guys back here on Monday. I have decided to keep going with the daily Power Ups with Power Coach Alicia because I really do love them and I connect to them, but we will have a theme instead of just random shit. Remember, progress, not perfection. Say yes to yourself more than you say yes to other people, and give yourself some grace. All right, see you in the group. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Soul Fire podcast. I truly appreciate you taking out your time to be here. I would love it if you would subscribe and share. And at the end of each episode, head over to community.soulhealingzone.com. Again, that's community.soulhealingzone.com. And share with me, what was your number 1 takeaway? What really connected with you? What got your fire lit? What was something that you absolutely loved about this episode? I cannot wait to continue creating more episodes with you, connecting with you, and helping you through this journey on this thing called life. I'll see you later.